Hi everyone, this is Miss Jacobson and we are going to talk about claims and arguments today, as well as inductive versus deductive reasoning. All of this is within our unit on persuasive techniques, things that you will see in persuasive essays, articles, speeches, things like that. Let's first talk about a claim. A claim is the main argument of a piece of persuasive writing. A claim is when an author says something that may or may not be true. A claim can be argued. So take a look at these examples below. Which of the examples below is a claim? Take a moment and think about which of these would be considered a claim. Okay, so hopefully you picked "Some people do not belong in yoga pants." That can be argued. You could make a strong argument for why some people don't belong in yoga pants, but you can make a strong argument for why people should all wear yoga pants. It is not common sense. It is not a fact. It can be argued. So it is a claim. Sports players should not be paid huge salaries just for playing a sport. That is not a fact. It's not something that you can prove. It's certainly not common sense. It's something that you could argue. You might agree, you might disagree, but it is a claim. The world would be a better place if the government would stop regulating the public's use of weapons. That's not a fact or common sense. It's something that you could argue. I could make an argument as to why that is false. I could also make a good argument as to why that is true. Therefore, it is a claim. Well, for example, snow falls from the sky in the winter. It's pretty general there. That's a fact. Snow does often fall from the sky during the winter. It's sort of common sense there. So that is not a claim. There are two types of reasoning. There are actually more than two, but we're just going to talk about deductive versus inductive. A deductive argument is a type of reasoning which goes from the very general to the specific. Deductive reasoning is based on premises, and if the premises are true, then the reasoning will be valid, and we'll be talking more about valid versus invalid. Now, an inductive argument is sort of the opposite. It refers to reasoning that takes specific information and then makes a broader generalization. Now, that generalization is considered probable, but it allows for the fact that the conclusion that's drawn at the end may not be accurate. It might be accurate, or it might not be. Another way to look at it is deductive goes from general to specific, while inductive goes from specific to general. Let's take a look here at some deductive arguments. All of these, by the way, would be considered valid, which we'll talk about later on in the zaption. In mathematics, if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. That's deductive. All apples are fruits. All fruits grow on trees. Therefore, all apples grow on trees. Also valid. William is a bachelor. All bachelors are single, hence William is single. Since all humans are mortal, and I am a human, then I am mortal. All dolphins are mammals. All mammals have kidneys. Therefore, all dolphins have kidneys. Since all squares are rectangles, and all rectangles have four sides, so all squares have four sides. Okay, there's a certain logic to all of these arguments, and they are deductive, from general to specific, and all are valid, incidentally. Let's take a look at some inductive examples. And on the right, tell me which ones you think are strong arguments or weak arguments. So we have Bob is showing a big diamond ring to his friend Larry. Bob has told Larry that he's going to marry Joan. Bob has bought the diamond ring to give to Joan. The chair in the living room is red. The chair in the dining room is red. The chair in the bedroom is red. All chairs in the house are red. Every time you eat peanuts, your throat swells up and you can't breathe. So you are allergic to peanuts. All cats that you have observed purr. Therefore, every cat must purr. 2/3 of the students at this college receive student aid. Therefore, 2/3 of all college students receive student aid. All of the girls in the class were blonde. Therefore, all girls in this neighborhood are blonde. What do you guys think? On the right, answer which ones you think are strong and which ones are weak.